Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? This is Naomi Tucker. I am with PlanetOnAPosted.com and I welcome you to the Planet on a Posted podcast. This is a podcast for event professionals by an event professional, and we're just talking about things that happen in the event planning world. So I'm very excited to be able to have you here. We are at episode 12 of this podcast in season 2, and today we're going to be discussing everything is Figureoutable, especially for event professionals. Well, first things first, I want to go ahead and give some announcements today. And the first announcement I wanted to do was really just say thank you. Thank you so much for those that attended the Everything is Figureoutable book club. We had such a great time just unpacking the book and learning so much about each other, about ourselves. It was wonderful. I know Kelly brought her wine and a few others. It was exciting. So if you want to check that out, go to planetonaposted.com/book club and really take a look at that. And if you're there, leave a comment, put in a hashtag replay. Let me know what you think. It would be wonderful to be able to get to know you and just continue the conversation. So thank you again to everyone that came and participated in that book club. Now, we're looking for some book club suggestions, so I really want to hear what is on your bookshelf. What are you reading right now? Is it fiction? Is it not fiction? Maybe you are an event professional that has a little bit of time on your hands because of reduced hours, or perhaps you unfortunately lost your job. Do you have anything on your bookshelf that you're reading? What are you doing in order to improve your professional development during this time? That's so key for us right now. So just let me know what you're thinking. I would love to hear your suggestions. Definitely go ahead and leave me a voice message from Anchor. You can also email me at info@planetonaposted.com. Would love to be able to hear from you what is on your bookshelf. And then finally, are you a part of the newsletter? We have a newsletter at Planet on a Post-it. You can go to our website and there's a top bar to fill it in with your name and address, and you will get a weekly newsletter from me. I love to give you some insight tips, just to tell you what my thoughts are for the week, maybe give you some reminders about industry events, and then also really keep you up to date on the things that are happening, because we have the book club, we have the podcast, and then other blog posts that might be coming out. So if you really want to be able to just get caught up and be in the know, the newsletter is where you want to go. So make sure you do that, and I am looking forward to just welcoming you into our little family. So look, Everything is Figureoutable was a wonderful, dynamic book written by a very talented, multi-passionate Marie Forleo. She is just so amazing, and I love how she puts things in a very practical way for you to consume it and just eat it all up. Her book was wonderful. I really enjoyed it, and I did get a lot of tidbits from it. Being an event professional and being very meticulous to the details, there were some parts of the book that I felt like I knew already. However, I was still able to glean some little golden nuggets from the book. So very excited. I have about 5 tips to share with you, and that's about it. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. You can always go ahead and pick up your copy at wherever Audible books are sold, or any books are sold, and just have yourself a read and really let me know when you read it what you think. But there are some key things that really stood out for me that I wanted to share with you today. The first one was a quote from Maya Angelou, and I think I might have shared this quote, but I love it. I love it so much. This quote is, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, you do better." Now, love that quote. The reason why I love it is because sometimes we just don't know what to do. And even in the midst of just the situation that's going on now with the coronavirus, or AKA COVID-19, there's so many situations that are coming at us every day. Our jobs are changing. Everybody's trying to pivot and do something different. Our schools are even going through some dramatic changes as well. And as parents, we're trying to really keep up with those changes and really make sure that our families are safe and secure at home. And sometimes it may leave you in a position where you're like, I really do not know what's going on right now. And is the world coming to an end? And what do I actually do about this? And I love this quote. And the reason why I like it is just because it gives you a roadmap to say, just do the best you can. If you only have to get through today, just get through today. If you only know what to do right then in that moment, just do the best you can. And this also leads to another wonderful quote that's in the book as well. It's from Marie Forleo, and she says, clarity comes from engagement and not thought, which means that we can spend so much time just in our heads, just thinking and thinking and thinking about what to do next, and we don't do it. So why not just take the step to do it? And when you do that step, then you can only imagine what would open up before you. There would be another choice and another step to make. So I just encourage you, my friends in the industry, event planners and suppliers and just event professionals, I really just encourage you that if you're in a position that you really don't know which way to go, just do the best you can. If you are currently facing no job situation, then let's see where there are jobs, because you have to take care of yourself right now. And maybe when the industry does bounce back, you can kind of shift back to where you want to be. But if it's a matter of putting food on your table, then definitely make the decisions that are best for you in this time. So I just ask you to be encouraged with that quote by Maya Angelou and the other one from Marie Forleo. If you want, go ahead and just write it down, put it on a Post-it, put it on your mirror, and really just live your life by that, because I feel like that has been so helpful for me during this time. So my tip number 2 is really learn from everything. Learn from every experience, no matter if you feel like you've been there before. And I feel like event professionals need to hear this too, because we've been planning meetings left and right. Many of us for decades, we know how to plan a meeting. So sometimes we enter into situations feeling like we just already know what to do. And so there's always 2 questions that you should ask yourself when you are managing situations. So my tip number 2 comes in the form of 2 questions. And that is, what can I learn from this? And how can this work for me? These are 2 questions that Marie posed in her book to challenge everyone with the situations that they're in, and to say, how can I get through this? How can I learn from this? And how does this work for me? If we ask ourselves those questions, we're able to navigate situations better and show up in them a little bit just better, instead of showing up like we know the situation. Perhaps the reason why we're faced with a particular situation is that we need to gain some knowledge from it. So I know sometimes I do this with my children because sometimes as an adult we feel like we know much more than they do. So when sometimes they're faced with challenges and they come and bring it to me, I sometimes would go down the route of, I know how to do this, so I'm telling you how to do it. But they always come with a unique perspective, and it always makes you see things differently. So I just encourage you in your business to be able to think of things a little bit differently as well. So the other tip that I have is really talking about perfection. In the book, Marie has a whole section on progress, not perfection, which really just means that we just need to focus on our progress. Perfectionism can really weigh us down. And she even goes so far to say that perfectionism can be deadly, because when we hold ourselves up to the bar of perfectionism, it really does a lot for us when it comes to shame, and it really does a lot for us when it comes to our self-confidence. So really what we want to aim for is to progress. Sure, we want to do well. Sure, we want to make sure that event is successful, but we know that sometimes things can go wrong, and we just really want to make sure that we're making the best choice in that situation, and that we're really aiming for progress and not perfection. So I just really appreciated that part of Marie's book, And I just think that that's a really wonderful point. So that is my tip number 3, is focus on progress and not perfection. So we're moving on to tip number 4. And that tip really has to do with really making sure you know where your thoughts should be. And it centers around your beliefs and how your beliefs really are the drivers of what your thought is about yourself, about your business. And it's always important for you to evaluate where your beliefs are so that you know where you're going. I thought that this was a really wonderful chapter that Marie had in her book, because some of us, we're living lives that are set up on other people's beliefs, not even our own. So, for example, if you had someone in your childhood that basically said, you're never going to do anything with yourself, and perhaps you're just living that out and you're thinking about yourself and saying, oh, I'll never get this done. You have such a self-doubt, and that really drives your actions and your feelings and your behavior and ultimately your results. So we want to succeed. We want to do good, and we want everyone to perceive us as doing really well. So we have to just really go back to some of those damaging thoughts that we may have about ourselves and that we believe, and just really see, where did you get that thought from? And from there, set it up on a different foundation. Instead of it being on a foundation of something that your Uncle Joe said, perhaps you set it up on a foundation on what you know to be true. And from there, that's going to dictate what your feelings are, your behaviors, and your results. And we always are striving for wonderful results. So that is a tip number 4. I thought that was a wonderful tip from Marie. And I just encourage you to really evaluate your beliefs there. So the last tip I have really is that everyone has their special gift to contribute to the world. It's something that Marie says all the time. The world has that very special gift that only you have. And I thought that that was a wonderful tip just to end on today, only because there's so much that this industry, our event industry, has gone through in the last couple of months, and even longer than that. I feel like we need to be encouraged that, you know what, the world does need our gift. We have just a profound gift in organization and administration and putting things together and implementing, events and trade shows, and we are phenomenal at what we do. And I would not want anyone in the event industry to be discouraged about what has happened when it comes to global climate of our world. We definitely, as an industry, are going to be able to get through this situation, and you will get through it too as an individual. And I feel like even though you probably are navigating some really murky water right now with regards to maybe employment and figuring out how you're going to land, I know those are murky waters. I know you're trying to figure out what is available to you and what you need to do. Please know that this isn't personal. This coronavirus and what we're going through isn't personal, and that the world really needs what you have. So show up in a way that you know that you're going to land on your feet and you're going to be able to let your light shine. So I feel like that's a wonderful way to end the call. Not end the call. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm on a call. But that's a wonderful way to end this podcast episode, just to say that the world needs that very special gift that only you have. Well, that's it. Those are my 5 tips and my 5 takeaways from the Everything is Figureoutable book and book club. So I really hope you enjoyed those. Those were just some quick tips. I could have gone on longer. I could have really recited the whole book for you, but I figure your time is precious. If you want to, go to planetonapost-it.com/book club and really check out that book club discussion. It was a really good one, and learn a little bit more. And I will be coming to you soon with our next book club selection. So if you do have a book you would like to share with me, definitely send that over. I would be very excited to just hear what you're reading and what you're suggesting. So thank you so much, everyone. It's been wonderful. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.